What's going on, guys? D. Anthony here with Evolution Traders. In today's video, we're going to talk about the absolute shit show in the market for the first hour to hour and a half, how I actually started off the day red and then was able to recover and actually go up $1,000 on my Topstep XFA, along with banking in a $1,500 day on the Combine. Now, didn't trade any of the Apex PA accounts today. I've been really neglecting my Topstep accounts, not necessarily in a bad way, but just not really taking as many trades as I should be taking on them on a week-by-week basis. So kind of focusing on that a little bit. By the way, guys, we've only got a little bit of time for the Apex sale. If you guys need more accounts, 80% off, $85 activation fees, and 1 day to pass. That link is down in the description box below. Also, if you guys would like to join Evolution Traders, again, like I said, we are doing away with the lifetime membership because, quite frankly, I really going into the end of the year, I want to focus on my team. I want to get more people to payouts. We had a bunch of people that today Apex's deposits just hit from last pay cycle. So congratulations to everyone. But let's get into the video. So immediately off the bell, we put in an initial spike, right? You can see the first opening candle here just absolutely explodes. Now, this is going to seem like a hard kind of scalp to take if you're a relatively newer trader because you're kind of, there's not a lot of levels to go off of. There's not a particular strategy going on here. It's just purely playing momentum and price action. What you could look at here is the previous little kind of pre-market high, over that 18,778, and tell yourself, if this breaks long, I'm going to go ahead and risk X amount of points, right? For me, risking around 25 points on the NASDAQ seems to be feasible right now. Again, it works out more than it doesn't, unless you're me and you take the first trade and it immediately reversed. But again, today is not something that happens kind of all the time, right? So we gotta have to, work, like just deal with it. It's part of the business. It's part of the game. So with that being said, this trade here off the open, I know a couple of my members actually took this here. A couple of our traders on our floor, we took this trade to the long side here. Some of us, I did not. I was waiting for that 20 SMA play. Now, once I seen this drastic wick and then this amazing follow through candle here on the 5-minute time frame that loses the 20 SMA, my eyes are starting to light up. This is right up my wheel well. It's a 69-point range candle. It's telling me that there's enough volatility, there's enough range for me to go out there and grab 20 points if this confirms, and set that 25-point stop loss, which has been working phenomenal. And you can see that it gets me into the trade and immediately stops me up. It is what it is. What did I do on that specific account? I stopped trading it. I put that account to the side. I went into the next account, okay? And that's all it is. We're not going to sit here. We're not going to dwell on it. It was a $250 loss. I got to live with that, right? I'm not going to sit here and cry and try to overtrade it. And if I take the next trade, I'm going to make it back. We're going to forget about it, right? We've got a lot of accounts to trade. We've got plenty of accounts, we got plenty of days to trade. We got plenty of months to trade. The market's not going anywhere. The next trade that set up was the long, or was the short, and you can see that here at 6:45 in the morning, that low price was 18,738. It does confirm and does the same thing. It goes down to 18,722 from a price of 18,738. So in this particular scenario, it does confirm. And if you had a 5-point or a 10-point take profit, you would have actually made some money on the trade. Now, again, if you were looking for that bigger price target, you would have gotten stopped out. You're going to have to chalk that one up to the game depending on what your price target was. So immediately, once I seen the first setup fail and the second setup fail, I immediately started preaching to the guys on the floor in Evolution Traders. We've got to lower our take profits. We've got to, either A, cut our size in half, or we have to take down these bigger take profits, and let's go to 5 or 10 points, because what we're not getting, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 points off the open. This is getting extremely hard and extremely choppy environments here. So before we go and chop ourselves up, let's make an adjustment in real time. And that adjustment happened here. I took this long at 6:50 in the morning. It closes back over the 20 SMA. I went back to trading one mini contract, got in on the break on the over the 20 SMA and took a quick 5 points. That's a $100 winner there. Now we did set up again back down to the short side. So again, you can see this market was not giving us too much to work with in terms of a trend here off the open. 100-point sell-off candle once we kind of hit these highs here, this double wick test here. And once we hit those highs, That low price was 18,695. The next candle confirms and goes down to 18,686. This was another 5-point winner. Now, if I was still originally looking for that 20-point take profit, I would have been stopped out yet again. So you can see how your experience can start to come into play when you see one trade fail, two trades fail. You got to make an adjustment. We can't just keep sitting there and banging our heads over and over and over and over and over again. So once we make that initial change and we make that adjustment, we got to stick to it, right? Now that we start to see some success and now that we start to see some things start to pan out, now we got a little bit of more breathing room, right? Again, we're still in the choppy environment and the market's been open for an hour. So with that being said, we get another 20 SMA play set up at 7:30 in the morning, and this one does confirm, but it takes one candle to kind of sit through. And once that confirms, that low price was 18,730, goes down to 18,715. So a 15-point take profit would have been hit, but in this particular scenario, I'm still looking for those 5 points. I'm in complete scalp mode at this point in time. That next trade that I was looking for was I was looking for the breakdown of that 200-day moving average. Now, if I actually show you guys the 200-day moving average on the chart, let's pull it up here. So I was looking at the 200-day moving average, which is this yellow line. So notice how when we came down and we started to sell off on this 20 SMA play short, we got very close to the initial balance lows and we tagged this 200-day moving average and we got a nice bounce. So there was also a long play that set up here. I did not take this long position here at this point in time. I was out grabbing my coffee, so I was not even around at this time. By the time I came back to the markets here, I was looking at the short setup. Now, what I'm looking at is one rejection, two rejections, both lower highs, three rejections, lower high, another rejection, lower high. I'm looking at 4 lower highs. We've got a little bit of a trend line, kind of developing here. And if I notice, until we break this trend line and get over and then hold it, this could potentially be coming down to not only test the 200-day moving average again, but wash out. And this was my big trade. This was my big trade because on this particular short setup, I held a runner. So on this trade, when I held a runner, not only did I get my initial target of 5 points, but I allowed it to continue to run a little bit. And I think I ended up getting close to 13 or 14 points on a mini contract. So for me, that's very, very big. Like that's a great trade. Now we're starting to really see some potential and some upside. Now I was on the call and I pointed this out, this potential bigs bottom. In real time, I was telling some of the people who were listening on the call that this candle here, I like the drastic selling. I like the no continuation follow through, and I like this candle. You can use low of day as a stop and sit in it. Literally, guys, this would have put you over 200 points if we would have got the lows. I did not pull a trigger. I should have. I did not. Because one thing that I was looking at here was it was a 44-point candle range. We were going to have to assume the full entire risk. Okay. So being that I was trading minis today, one mini contract and just looking for those quick scalps, I'm not comfortable giving myself a 45-point stop loss on a mini. Now, could I have traded a couple of micros? Entirely possible. But it's just, I got to be honest, that's not where my head was at. My head was not into trying to catch some big reversal move. My head was just trying to catch a scalp. I did, however, catch this 20 SMA play to the long side. I like this play because it was only an 18-point candle, and I have this 200-day moving average, this yellow line. I've got this as support. So if this confirms, I can take some more points off the board. And if you notice, the high price was 18,689. It rides all the way up to 18,717. So this was a very good trade and yet another scalp. So at this point, the decision I made early in the day to switch away from the 20-point take profit after the first two trades busted, and I started to notice that it was a choppy environment and go to a 5-point take profit and kind of scalp, I had so much more success. Okay. This trade here was the biggest trade that I caught because I did hold that runner. So I took two, again, not something I do a lot, but I took two minis and I got my first 5 points and got out. And then I rode the second runner down to around 12 to 13 points and I just quickly got out. We did have another member who was eyeing this trade. Congratulations, Charlie, because I know you were on this one. You were looking at the breakdown of the 200-day moving average. Okay. I was looking at it as well, but because I did catch that runner, you know, I just had to, you know, just let it go, right? I left it out there for you, Charlie, and you came and you cleaned it up, because as soon as we broke down through this 200-day moving average, you took the confirmation on that and took that nice flush. So congratulations to you. Now, once this starts to move, there was another trend line here, or the same trend line if you just kind of drag it across, that once we broke it, if we got it to back test, there was a potential for a new high. I did take this trade, right? I didn't take it right away, but I took it once we broke this little high, and I just took 2 micros and I took $60 or $40 or something like that. So just chump change. There was a trade that I did lose on the micro side. It was, you know, I think it was closer in this range. I think I tried to go long on a breakout here, and then it pulled back, and then I just got a little squeamish, and I said, we'll just take the $50 loss. So this trade here, where I won $50 on that, on this move up here, just immediately got washed out on this one. But again, it's micros, and we were already had a healthy P&L on the day. We finished up, you know, if you count the 2 accounts together, $2,600. But again, $1,600 of those is funny money because it's a combine account. But we did able to, you know, lock in almost $1,100 on the the Topstep XFA. So let me know in the comment section how you guys did today, and I think I could show you guys really quickly. Let me show you guys really quickly. There's the Topstep XFA. So you can see 50K express funded account here. That P&L on the day was $1,087. So very, very good day there. But with that being said, let me know how you guys did today. I'm curious to know what setups you took. And again, I know for a fact, unless you were scalping very quick moves, this opening hour for sure caused some problems. But those days are going to happen. What I want to know is, I don't want you to tell me that, oh, the market was choppy, I couldn't do this. I want to know, how did you handle it? Did you overtrade? Or did you have some self-control, maybe move to another account, or just kind of lock it up at a small red day on altogether? I made this comment earlier that when you put yourself into protection mode, not only do you put yourself into protection mode on your green days, you put yourself into protection on your red days as well. I'm okay with a $500 red day. Okay. I'm not okay with a blown account. So again, put it to the side and move on. The same thing when you're up $500. I'm okay losing 250 of that and still finishing positive 250. I'm not okay being green and then now finishing negative 300. Okay. Protection, protection, protection. It's out there to help you for a reason. If you can manually lock yourself out, lock yourself out. I definitely recommend everyone to put together a personal daily loss limit. With that being said, smash that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe. If you guys are interested in joining, to be honest, that lifetime membership, I need to take it down because someone did join this morning actually. So I'm going to take that down. So sorry for those of you guys who want that lifetime membership. It's going to be gone today. But if you guys need Apex accounts, because that sale is coming to an end, there's still a good deal, $33, you know, for that 50K account, $85 activation fee, so forth and so forth. It definitely would help on a day like today, right? Let's say you've only got one account and you go into drawdown. Instead of trading and chopping that one account up, you load up the other account and you take your second setup on another account. Spread your risk. That's why, again, those of you guys who copy trade, I applaud you, because I cannot copy trade. The last thing I want to do is have 10 accounts with $2,500 drawdown, go down 500 on all the accounts, or hell, go on tilt and lose $1,000 or all 10 at once. I will take 10 accounts and spread out that $2,500 drawdown times the 10 accounts. Now I've got $25,000 worth to play with. It's just easier on my mental. And again, when things are easier on your mental, it's a lot easier to trade. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.